built on passion, driven by purpose. Centurion didn't start in a boardroom. It started in 1976 with a love story and a need for speed. From the beginning, Centurion was built on something deeper than fiberglass and horsepower. It was built on determination, family, and the drive to create something better.
Well, I grew up in the San Fernando Valley in Southern California, and luckily my dad was a PE teacher, and we had a ski boat, and I started water skiing when I was 5. I got to high school while water skiing and having this cool boat. My next door neighbor had a drag race boat, and he let me drive it for him. I was totally hooked, and I found something I had an acumen for, and I loved the trying to make things go faster and tinkering with them, and so I progressed up to Top Fuel and K-Racing runabout circle boats. And then in 1972, I met Pamela, fell madly in love with Pamela, and I talked to her dad, and I told him I wanted to marry his daughter and that she wanted to marry me, and he asked me how I intended to support her in a manner to which she was accustomed. And I said, well, I don't at first, but I know I can make her happy. So Pamela's dad said, well, go start your own boat company. And he co-signed for a loan for $100,000, and we moved to Santa Ana, got a 10,000 square foot concrete tilt up, and Pamela and I sat down, made a list of names, and we came up with the name Centurion. At some point, I realized that we needed a factory, and we wanted to grow into a factory, and Pamela's dad was going to help us come to Merced, because they had a family ranch in Merced. We had access to the Chamber of Commerce, and we had some encouragement from them. They gave us some financial help. So we went and built this factory, moving up there with this big backlog of orders. I had sold a year's worth of production. And then about June of that first year, an economic crash occurred. It was a major catastrophic downturn in the boat business. I looked around and discovered Pleasure Craft Marine, and they were supplying Correct Craft and Mastercraft. And our distributor from the Bay Area suggested you should build a tournament boat. Came out with the first True Track, and went to work on trying to learn the tournament boat business and how to create a boat with a consistent wake. And we went through iterations of the True Track 2 with spray rails. We were out testing the boat. We stuck 2x4s on the side of the boat to find out and went up and down and finally screwed them in one spot, and it knocked all the spray down. At one point, that wakeboarding was on the horizon and on its way in, and I had decided to build this wakeboard boat, the Wave, a built-in ballast tank, V-bottom wakeboard boat to convert from trying to make the wakes tiny to trying to make the wakes big. It was literally the first built-in ballast tank boat and wakeboard specific. And during the test phase for that boat, as we finished getting the boat completely refined for wakeboarding, we were back and forth to Lake Yosemite for 2 or 3 months, and head of our R&D department was Tim Lopes. He was a sales guy, but he was also in the R&D field as far as our company was concerned. And he was going back and forth to the lake with us, and we'd finished our testing for wakeboarding. He'd say, "I'll bet I can surf behind that thing. Let me surf behind it." So for a month, he bugged us, and we never said, no, this is a wakeboard boat. We got to stay focused. So we finally finished the boat. We got it just right, and we're on the lake. And he says, "Please, just let me try it once." And so we're done, and I'm with 2 or 3 other guys in the boat. And we said, okay, go get your board. He gets behind the boat, and we immediately towed him up to about 20 miles an hour and almost knocked him over. And he's going, slow down. We got down to 11 miles an hour. And he was back there, but we weren't really interested. We were busy in our conversation on how we were going to market the wakeboard boat. And while we're talking, the rope handle flies into the boat at our feet. And the 3 of us look down and wait a minute. And then we look back at Tim, and he's surfing the wave without a rope, having a ball, cutting back, and just having a great time. So we surfed all the way across. Lake Yosemite is fairly small, so we surfed the other side, stopped to turn around. One of the guys in the boat yells it back to Tim, "Can you do that again?" So we got him back up again and we surfed our way back to the launch ramp. And by the time we got back to the launch ramp, everybody in that boat realized that, I realized it. I don't know if the other guys were quite ready to go as far as I was, but I realized that this was a total epiphany, that this sport was going to change towed wake water sports forever. At that point, we diverted all of our marketing, R&D, and energies into the sport of wake surfing. And now, today, when you look out on Lake Tahoe, wake surfing is all you see. Occasionally you'll see a water skier, occasionally you'll see a wakeboarder, but the majority of the boats out there are wake surfing.